A hip hip hooray at Emirates in the luxurious first-class cabin on the way from Vienna, Austria to Dubai, United Arab Emirates celebrating with immense joy and excitement. And that is located in the new A380 aircraft. Yeah, I was like, wow, this is an absolute dream come true. Right? It's the bomb. That's my favorite plane. So that means from Vienna, where I like to depart because there's still a good bang for your buck for the first class. Well, I'd say it costs around 8,000 at most places, but in Vienna it's around 7,000. So if you're lucky, you can save an extra $1,000 for all you penny pinchers out there. But for me, it's just a nice optimal topic because Vienna is right in the middle of Europe, and of course you can fly from there, just like Zurich, or in case of emergency, for example, Frankfurt. It's clear that you fly from there. And of course, there's also the option to fly to Budapest or clearly from Hamburg because the 380 is now flying from Vienna. Of course, I took off with this new plane and immediately picked out the first flight. And you could really tell that these employees at the airport, who I praised excellently in the last video, I'm still praising now, were already having some small difficulties. Well, it was not quite well prepared yet. The check-in counters for first business and economy class used to be located together. Now they have the A380, of course, and also an additional 777 in the evening, which is pretty interesting. And of course, this 380 brings in more guests. Did they maybe forget the training a little bit, that you have to practice first before you bring the A380 there? Of course, you also have to go to management in Vienna and say, we need to get people on board, then we have to do training, and then we can start, so that everything is ready when guests come. I was not too satisfied with the signage, and even my chauffeur service had to search for it as well, just like where is the first-class check-in area located. But there was this first-class check-in, and I must say, the employees in Vienna are truly amazing. They bring me joy. The Vienna employees bring me joy, and that's something special, that you go there and are really nicely greeted, well taken care of, and I have fun flying from Vienna, because there are also many positive things happening from Vienna. However, let us also discuss the chauffeur service. Therefore, I observed something regarding this chauffeur service. They have actually eliminated the chauffeur for guests travelling in first class, starting from Vienna. Emirates is reducing expenses in this area. We are paying €1,000 less, but it is necessary to make that more evident. Because it is not possible that a business guest is picked up in the same manner as a first class guest, is it? That just doesn't seem right, does it? Those are some good-looking cars, so of course Black Lane provides excellent service, and that was all fine. However, I believe that it is necessary to have an S-Class sedan rather than just a C thing or any BMW model. Also, Emirates, I have to say, you're not pleasing me with that, and I think others feel the same. Well, I definitely expressed dissatisfaction, and I anticipate compensation. So that's just logical, because it can't be that you let the service at Emirates run backwards now, when it's so good, and then save on the chauffeur service. Well, that can't be right. So from my perspective, it bothered me, and I thought, okay, that needs to be changed, because we can't forget one thing either. We do have a fantastic, fast track in Vienna. But he's a Viennese employee, yeah. That's Vienna Airport. Awesome. So will I breeze through security in Vienna, which makes me happy? Then smoothly through duty-free and into this lounge, into Vienna Lounge. I already informed you, you can locate a video online, but I have to say that the Dawn Group is not holding up to what it used to be, this big, promising thing at the moment. So the Dawn Group is unfortunately on the wrong track. I think that's also due to the employees, of course. Because how can it be that I enter a lounge, receive a pleasant greeting, but then become aware that employees are utilizing computers in the guest area to perform their work tasks? So, where I'm sitting as a guest, there can't be an employee in the computer able to place orders or something. That is not possible. Therefore, employees do not have any business in our guest service area. I think the Donja is good quality, but currently it's going downhill. That's the wrong way. I hope I can contact Don with this and that people comprehend that they need to make some modifications for us visitors once more. Because the quality that is being offered there, first of all, messes everything up. The quality is not good, like really bad. The food was cold, the rolls were dry, so that was it. The sausage, that's all. I didn't want to eat anything there, not even drink. It's all somehow dramatic. There's still room for smokers because there's an outdoor terrace, you know. The lounge is still very large, but for us guests, where we are also Emirates first-class guests, I find it a pity. For instance, I informed the Emirates personnel during check-in that it would be the minimum they could do to provide a small, separate section for guests travelling in first class. possible in lounge, or you could also put a nice bottle of champagne there, and then you can grab little something from buffet. But you'd have your own private area and be a bit away from business travellers. Because, I mean, be in a lounge with business travellers, this is a nightmare. I see it as a nightmare, completely. That's a back and forth coughing and fussing and picking up. So it's a nightmare, basically. And when I fly first, I do want to fly a bit exclusive, you know. I miss the exclusivity with Emirates. There is currently a need for upgrades from Vienna, in my opinion. Found two things. Once the chauffeur service, so that you upgrade back to an S-Class and of course also work on the lounge and even consider operating your own lounge. It'd be interesting for Vienna now if many guests were flying with the 380 and yes, the entire surrounding area, like Slovenia, Hungary, etc., all being part of this story. I mean, I get making money and all, but I mean, doing it at the expense of service, I find it a shame. That is not very Emirates-like, and I do not think the higher-ups really want it that way. So they want to make money, but that's definitely a bit wrong. So the whole thing, the police check, passport check, that all goes quickly here. If you're Muslim, you can still go this way here, which I think is excellent because you have this little nice path up there in this upper area. You walk along there, below is Schengen and above is non-Schengen. It's actually a nice path. There is also a prayer room available. This applies to Christians who would like to pray in that space as well. And then you continue on to the departure. And when I finally arrive there and see the A380 standing there, oh, kids, it was nice. Oh, man, it was awesome. Especially with the shower room. Oh, how lovely. That's a dream. Even the entire boarding program, they have also made some changes to it. So you have really messed up the economy at this point. They have a separate line, and for first and business, you go to a different line. I think that's necessary. It must be that way. Not the case before. So I think it's a good solution because you go in there, go down escalator, then divide it into economy and first. Vienna lacks an upper bridge, only having bridges for the lower level, missing a bridge for the upper level. So Hamburg has that, but Vienna doesn't have any bridges for A380 SAS. Well, I get that, of course, because then an airline would have to give you the guarantee that they'll stay for at least 3 or 4 years, because there are costs involved, you know. Uncomfortable when I get down there and then have to go up the stairs again with the Cobra. Not a service. This lousy service, you know it from another German, currently most popular airline, but of course Emirates had all the service facilities on this flight when it comes to the A380. So from Vienna to Dubai, excellent quality range in catering. So the food is further from Do & Company. Extremely high quality. Unfortunately, same here. The employees on this flight, and that's what I always say, that can happen. The kitchen was bad, it often had lukewarm dishes, they weren't properly hot, and that doesn't taste good. You can go back, they have to do it again. It's like that. That's how it went. Threw me off, because he didn't know how to set the table. He put caviar spoon inside, but you're supposed to eat from outside in, and here it is reversed. So you could tell that, despite him telling me he'd flown before. He would have done it more, I must say. He always did it wrong. Then there's the whole service, so naturally you bring champagne with the bottle and ensure it's cold. And even in cognac, you show off the bottle and then pour a drink. I totally got that and I thought, that's crazy. I want to enjoy it, I'm not a heavy drinker. I naturally made an extreme report here and hope that Eminence will readjust accordingly, because we need good employees in the first class area. If they're not there, then it's a nightmare. But the entire flight area, that is, sitting there in this A380, my favourite seat, Hornplatz 1A, was truly a delight. And that's just such a nice, comfy way to fly. You can close the door there, watch the movie, then you say, I want to take another shower, then you take another shower, and then you can change there, and that's pure comfort. The flight is bliss, and if everything goes smoothly technically, it's even better. Initially, we had trouble with the TV, so we restarted. Hey, all went smoothly, so technically, Emirates must stay on top, ensuring devices, seats, and everything work properly. That's just wear and tear. That needs to be readjusted over and over again. Basically, that was naturally another fantastic joy, and when you then arrive in like, wow, the surprise. You always let yourself be surprised by new things. There may be, and you always have to know this, there may be at most one chauffeur or personal assistant in Dubai who will take you to your connection with a small electric car because it might be too tight. But there is no chauffeur service for first-class guests, no pickup option, and no personal assistant. If you want to have that, you have to book it separately with Mahaba, so it costs extra money, and from Emirates, even though that's always claimed by some influencers. There ain't no such thing. There's nobody Emirates would have to upgrade there too. She really needs to consider whether or not to incorporate this service there. Because we ended up in G. And that's really an endless run from there to immigration. And I was really surprised because there was a free taxi because the way is so long. And there you could simply hop on and then you would be transported up front to the area where you then proceed down to immigration. So I went up there immediately and then naturally, I had a great time doing that once more. They have friendly staff. Well, that went smoothly. I think that's a great idea. A service everyone can use. Not just for first class or business class, but also economy guests can use this service, as there are plenty of taxis available when you arrive from G to get there. The immigration problem is, in my view, well solved through these A gates. Just hold your passport up, walk through there, and you're there quite fast. So far, everything's still good. Then it's onto this whole suitcase story. Came pretty quickly. It was fine, so I didn't wait long. You can go to the bathroom again or something. From my perspective, the suitcase arrived quickly, like without wasting time. I don't want to think about Hamburg or Frankfurt, where waiting is a nightmare. Then there was something new, an experience I hadn't had. A queue at Emirates first-class chauffeur service. So they are out there was a lane. I thought he probably cannot do that. Why am I waiting now yet in first class, you know? And the business people have made some serious moves. They had a glitch. Look, once again, like USA, we'll have more of that in the future, setting everything to auto, and then later it goes snap, doesn't go further. Obviously a nightmare and the worst case scenario. I'm the type who naturally says, why don't we start, and what's the plan and stuff, and then they really stepped it up and accelerated. Well, then the driver arrived, but you know, sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't, but the key thing is he drives. In Dubai, there are many Sunday drivers and a high number of bad drivers. I'm unsure if others share this sentiment. I gotta say, this traffic and all these cars are really something here. If there are such bad drivers involved, and then also from Emirates, who probably have to be cheap and don't have to be good, but I mean, mainly they have a driver's license, then you will also be driven to the hotel. All together. Roundabout nonetheless. A truly incredible service experience in the world, unmatched and unforgettable. Emirates first class is still the most fun, even though it has become a bit more expensive. Minimum flight cost is 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 euros. It's still a big joy, because certain qualities are just there, certain reliabilities are there, and I'm flying from here to the next destination now. The chauffeur service is of course ordered, but here's another little tip. I've just tried out several new hotels in Dubai, and I can tell you about one of them that I'm currently at, the Sheraton Dubai Creek. There's a review and a room tour on my website, so feel free to check it out. I've also become quite interested in the Sheraton hotels here in Dubai. Not too shabby, I must say. Travel on the Emirates, a 380 flight from Vienna to Dubai for an unforgettable experience. This time I have mixed feelings regarding it. Still a good service, still worth the money it costs. We'll see how it develops in the future. Everything is going down under at the German airline. So from that perspective, I'm in good hands. I'm stoked that I had such a rad experience again. And in the end, even those little things that don't go as planned can be kind of an experience. Emirates first class, from Wee to Dubai.